What's up, guys? Welcome to GRIZZ Zombies. This is a podcast that we're going to be doing today, and I'm joined here with 5 other people, and we're going to all be talking about the ending of DLC 3, what our expectations are of DLC 4, and everybody's going to have their own say here as to what their own perspectives as to where we're going to go. And I hope you guys like this. Deadline used to be all for the Custom Zombies news on this channel. We've moved that title now to a podcast that we're doing every Sunday night, but we'll post it every Monday. So every Monday you'll get this podcast. Next week we're going to be diving into Infinite Warfare Zombies. We're going to start first and foremost with DLC 4. Actually, let me introduce everybody that's in here. We got GRIZZ Ownage. We got Dino.
Yeah.
We got Wazoo.
Hey, what's up?
We got GRIZZ Salinas.
Hey there.
There he is. And we got GRIZZ Winner.
Yo.
And then we got Oversoul27, who's not here right now, but he may join us later in the call. We will see. And next week also, we're going to be changing the time for when we do this in the recording, so that way it works better for everybody else. We got some guys in Europe that are sleeping. We got some guys on Xbox, so we feel that there's plenty of experience in here that we can cover these topics and bring it to you guys every week. Collective group from both on Xbox and PS4. So hopefully you guys can relate to some of the things that we talk about today. Okay, so DLC 4 and the Infinite. If you guys don't know, the Infinite is the thing that was talked about in the Cypher. And that's the only information we've gotten on the Infinite. If we were to think about the worlds fracturing, where does the Infinite sort of lie in that realm of things for you? Any of you guys can start.
Well, I think the ciphers that reveal the actual photo of Richtofen's note are very key to understanding what the Infinite is.
Oh, the Shadows of Evil cipher.
Yeah.
Not a cipher. That was one that was pieced together and it made
Correct.
a map?
Yeah, and it also has the house.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the last coordinate is. If that is actually, is there an actual coordinate for DLC 4?
I'm not 100% sure.
Jason Blundell said we need to figure out from past maps where DLC 4 is, so no, there isn't a coordinate.
Okay.
I also think the Infinite could be the giant, you see the KM44 and stuff like that. That could be the Infinite with the chronomenon, with the boat, sorry. So, maybe it's both links, with the giant and the KM44. Maybe it's linked with the chronomenon.
The Chronorium, this is the book where Richtofen learned everything.
Yeah,
well,
could be the infinite power, like the infinite, what we're talking about, like.
Yeah, and what's interesting is all that story is missing. All that story of how he got the Chronorium to begin with is missing. But I do think without that being explained, because that's part of the comic book, which we're going to get into, the Infinite is definitely towards the conclusion of where DLC 4 will take us. And I'm not sure if the Infinite is the safe place, if that's the safe house, if that's the Infinite realm where everything is possible. I need to turn my TV down. But it's a very confusing time when you're predicting DLC 4, because Dr. Monte seems to be this godlike character now. That's definitely a big factor going into DLC 4.
Yeah, is he good? Is he bad? Is he either good for Nikolai, Takeo and Dempsey, but is he also bad for Richtofen? Because Richtofen can't hear him, but at the same time all the other 3 characters can. So
Yeah, that leads into what my theory is. I think we're dealing with the subjects being in a program. Dr. Monte is no god, but he's a doctor that can monitor them all. That's why he claims he's...
Okay. Sort of like the Matrix, in a way.
Yeah.
And maybe how they were experimented on, the things we saw in Black Ops, the very first game. He's like the doctor and they're the patient that's, they're asleep right now or something, and he's doing things to them. I don't know. I see what you're saying.
1.0 versions on the line.
being told by Dr. Monte why Richtofen's still in the house, and he's been in there for a long time. So in Black Ops 3, it's machine corrupting man at this point, so it's definitely leaning towards Dr. Monte is probably an operator of a program, and our characters are subjects to the program, including Richtofen.
Right, and Maxis probably has first-hand experience with this because he's part of technology now, right?
Yes, he'd be like Neo. He's escaped this program. He's not influenced by the 115 anymore.
Right.
Well, what about Neo? Because he's
So Richtofen's the one?
With the dark arts, he's the one that's actually trying to find the souls and actually do all this stuff. Neo's got a mysterious past in his mind, you know what I mean? So I think Neo's got a part of this. Neo wears Weasel and Richtofen.
Yes.
Especially with Weasel and the Mob of the Dead plane coming into the similarities with the different maps.
Yeah. What the thing that still stumps me, well, we'll talk about the Giant later, but when we're on the topic of the comic book and Comic-Con, that's the next thing that we need to cover as well, and that's going to cover the entire new transit storyline that we haven't heard of, because the synopsis actually tells us that the transit crew, Richtofen, went back to help them, and they helped Richtofen in return to get the Chronorium. That's the goal of the comic book, is how they came about finding the Chronorium, and he used the transit storyline to achieve that.
Correct.
Well, I think Stuhlinger and Richtofen worked together to find it together, you know, the Chronorium, but Richtofen somehow, like, betrays Stuhlinger for the power, and the power, he actually helped the 2.0 versions, and, like, obviously sacrificed the 1.0 versions for the Maxis, just for the pure originality of basically how it's going.
Yeah, and you know, Richtofen likes to interject in certain timelines that affect things. So is he actually going to interject on a Richtofen side of the Easter egg or a Maxis side of the Easter egg? Is he going to interject at some point during one of those? Or is it going to be a whole different timeline?
Yeah, we could be seeing another buried Easter egg, like one Easter egg for Maxis and the other one for Richtofen. We could be seeing that coming back into place.
Well, each one of those, I like to believe, were a different universe. They were a different timeline.
Yeah.
If you took one, so he may be interjecting into one of those timelines and changing this events of, you know, history to favor it a certain way.
Well, I think what we're seeing is a third possibility. Neither one of Buried's happening anymore.
Yeah.
Because we're going to see the rewriting from Transit up into Buried, leading all the way into the mess that we're in now in Black Ops 3.
But maybe, because we got the 2.0 versions of Nikolai and that, maybe there's a 2.0 version of Stuhlinger and all the other transit crew. There could be another version of them.
Yeah.
There could be a possibility, because there's always a 2.0 version of Nikolai, Taki or Dempsey and Richtofen. So you never know, there might be another version out there helping Richtofen for the Chronorium.
Well, DLC 4's Easter egg end at the house, and Jason Blundell confirmed that we're going to have staffs. The staffs are coming back. He told Mr. Dalek JD that in one of his interviews, and so that's big news. And the house is, you know, we saw the map Infection in multiplayer in Black Ops 3. We saw the house there. Odds are that entire map is based off world fracturing. Everything you see in that map is kind of converging together. So it's just symbolism. It doesn't mean it's going to look like that. But do you think we'll progress through the Easter egg? Say it's Atlantis. It's an Origins version of Atlantis. And we make it to the house at the end of the Easter egg by going through these events. I don't know. But do you think we'll end up with the house in the cutscene or as part of the Easter egg?
I think it's going to be a playable area, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, agreed. As Nicholas says in one of his quotes, he's been in the house before, he's been there, seen the children, but all his past is like crumbling behind him, so he don't remember as much as he should. But he's been to see the children, if you ever remember that.
Yeah.
Which I think is pointing to the Origins outro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you look at it, we're in the perspective of one of the characters when the story is being told right at the end there. That's why when the what we perceive as the camera and it falls over, it's actually one of the game characters that are being knocked over.
Yeah, it's Nikolai.
Yeah, it's Nikolai, yeah.
Huh, interesting.
That's why he's special.
So does it make you think that what we're seeing at the end of cutscene in Origins is they're going to close the door and then boom, that's kind of where we're going to kick off right now on DLC 4 is we're entering this time period now with these new set of characters and we're at their front door now of this castle or wherever they're in, this house, this huge house. And are we going to play inside the house? Is the house itself going to be the map?
Maybe one little space, but the whole map could be a completely different layout. But
Yeah.
we might be able to visit the house.
Okay.
It'll be like the crazy place in Origins.
Mm.
We'll get to go to the house maybe to pack a punch or something.
I like that.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
good idea.
Open up the rift to go to the house.
Yeah.
Or like the room you teleport to in Kino
Yeah.
Right.
for Pack a Punch.
Yeah,
That's a good
you
idea.
get about 25 seconds to get in there, pack a punch your weapon and get out, sort of stuff, yeah.
Okay, nice.
And we'll probably have to fight or interact with Samantha, most likely. We'll actually get to...
Samantha, definitely going to be Samantha and Maxis in DLC 4.
Yeah, I'm wondering
But
if they're gonna play a part like Sophia was big in DLC 3 and kind of told us the story as we went along. Are we gonna have the Maxis drone doing that type of thing?
I'm hoping we see Maxis as a human being, but as you said, the Maxis drone is already around, like, so maybe we could be seeing the Maxis drone come back.
Yeah.
But
Well, we all thought Sophia was a human being, and now we are told it was a machine, so it explains her obsessive behavior with Maxis. Maxis became the first. So are we seeing Maxis going through what he perceives as his dimension of time and changing things? He's an overlord, possibly. The giant, we see it when we go into the teleporter. So when we're using the ether, we see Richtofen in zombie form again.
Right.
So zombie form of Richtofen is from the Maxis storyline, where Maxis wins and sentence him to the zombie form for eternity.
yeah.
Right? So zombie
Yeah.
form of Maxis figured out where to get the, of Richtofen, sorry, figured out where the chronorium is by using Stuhlinger, right? And that's why we see him carrying the book and buried, is because that's what happened.
Okay. Interesting.
They threw that in there so that they can do that. Jason Blundell just recently, I forget who he's doing the interview with, but he mentioned how they put things in there so that they can come back and go see, this is where it all ties in, because they don't know where we're looking in the game, but with the comic they're going to be able to specifically guide us and tell the story, but use the in-game Easter eggs that we don't even know about yet. Right, so that Mob of the Dead cipher that will come out in the comics. We'll have the key to that in the comics. I put my money on it now.
Interesting.
I think
So that
the one thing we're missing is Cthulhu. We've been hearing so much about Cthulhu, but we've never actually heard or seen him.
Well, I think that's the Shadow Man. And if you look when you get Max Amos
you
and
see Shadow Man, but you're also seeing the God of Cthulhu, and there's actually like Jason Blundell going on with I forgot his name now. Is like basically describing the Cthulhu monsters, the mythical Cthulhu, and Jason kind of go on the same storyline as that. So maybe there's got to be something with the chronorium, but the Cthulhu protecting it, and Richtofen somehow got it from the Cthulhu. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I think the Cthulhu are infecting this whole world.
Yeah, it's breaking the whole dimension and splitting it into two.
Oh, we've got
think they're
ciphers
from
from
one
the last.
timeline and they're kind of breaking through that timeline?
Well, Primus beat them, but they're gonna fail.
Exactly. How did Cthulhu actually win Primus at the end of it? Is it Cthulhu that wins, or is it another different horde?
Right. So is that what we're seeing in that's what DLC 4 should be based around, right?
Yeah, but Cthulhu, I would say we're definitely going to be hearing something about Cthulhu in DLC 4.
Okay. It's that clash right there that's going to be happening.
It's a good chance that Dr. Monte is one of them. He's one of the characters in the Max Ammo icon in Shadows of Evil.
Maybe, yeah, that could be a possibility that he's actually Cthulhu himself.
Well, that's why you can also take even in Zetsubu, even like he explained, like when he met Takio, he even explained that the orders from the Emperor himself. Which is the Emperor even real, or is that just a thing Richtofen uses?
Is it? Yeah,
Takio found out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that Takio found out, and he's trying to like warn him without trying to say it up.
Yeah.
Just because of the character Takio is,
Mm-hmm.
he is based off honor and fighting for his country and his emperor.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
So maybe-
explained by the
yeah.
cipher or by the
Yeah,
Wisp. Dr. Monte says that the originals were in the World War. They were soldiers, and the other ones got tested on. So those are just test subjects. So the other ones were original ones, right? So Richtofen just led Takio to help him
Mm-hmm.
kill and capture the specific soul, which we still don't know why those souls are caught. We're just being told that we're catching them, right? We don't know why. And the fact that Richtofen's soul didn't go up, that's basically like a slap in the face. We fucked up. We listened to Richtofen. Why did we do that?
Right.
Seriously. We play Black Ops 2. Richtofen doesn't do anything good for us.
Well, it's like also when he says that he did it with the summoning key. If you in every other map, when he has to capture that soul, he has to pull out that summoning key and activate it in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and you see the soul being captured, like it's
And
a
everything.
light show.
And then in the Giant, that's not the case. He
No,
just
and
leans
it-
over
and-
the body and gets something. You don't know what it is. I mean,
What if Northwoods is real and that's about to come out, and they just need to release these 6 or however many comics there is?
It's funny you bring up Northwoods. I ain't thought about that in forever. I ain't thought about that in so long.
That was actually a game for tryout, but they took it off of the store, weren't it?
Yeah. I
Well,
think
I
that was
heard-
an actual image at some point, wasn't it?
The
Oh,
only
yeah,
counter
yeah.
argument I've heard is that it was the beta for the multiplayer for GameStop managers in the United States. And that's the only counterclaim I've heard of this outside of what everybody's reporting right now.
The woods was exactly like the woods with seeing zombies. Every time you die or whatever, you load at that screen.
Yeah, you always see it. Yeah.
And what's key
it's
is
gotta be
in the
something.
more detailed screen that I posted on Twitter there, you can see that it's talking about buildable attributes for the characters. So if we're gonna have a game in the zombie world that's not this zombie story specifically because it's closed up in this game, but it's gonna expand past the comic and past this game,
Yeah.
then it would
Like an
make
MMO
perfect
for
sense.
zombies.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
it's compatible with these maps, so that when you're in this game and you go to that map screen, those other slots are advertisements or possible ways that you can actually get into the Northwoods maps and play.
That would be cool.
It'd be awesome, but at the
That would be
same
really
time,
cool.
If they're not doing that, they should do it.
Yeah.
Yep, and I think Nocturne Totem is where it's headed. Because they've got so much room to expand on it, and it's on an abandoned airfield. And plus, it was the first map. Why not bring it
So
bring
they
the
wake
loop around, you know?
So do they wake up? Do they wake up from the program and they're in Nocturne Totem, the real world?
Right? Who knows?
Well, you don't
This is
think
crazy.
exactly- This is exactly what I said to Grizz half a year ago, and he said it would be so much of a cop-out. Because
Yeah, if they just woke up.
Sirius did it
But
right.
it allowed them to remake it though for the next generation though, so it
Yeah.
make perfect sense monopoly wise.
They could make it massive. That entire airfield that it's supposedly sitting on would be our playground, you know?
We'll just make a remake of Transit and you start off in there exactly
Yeah.
like how you started in the original World at War, not even knowing until you open up a door somewhere and it's just like, what the fuck? And next thing you
Yeah,
know,
like-
you're in a remake of Transit,
Yeah.
which then
something like
expands
that.
into the whole world, which they just called Northwoods. Oh,
Bam! We got it figured out.
there you go.
Nice. Nice.